So what does it look like to seek the restoration of a community? Well, we at Macc Community Church, we want to see communities transformed spiritually. And so part of communities is the families that make up the community, and we want to see families discipled for Christ. And so part of those families are kids, and we realize as a church that when we serve the kids of a family, we're actually caring for the family as a whole. And so when it comes down to it, the question that we decided we need to address is, how do we care for families by serving their kids?
Soccer is something that many of the children really didn't have access to without going outside of our community. And the fact that it was here in our own community, it was bringing them something in their own comfort zone.
Seeing the tiers be brought down from tiers to peers. What I mean by that is when we're in a community and we're caring for people in different ways, you can find yourself always in sort of one-upmanship. And what's cool about sports programs, specifically Macc Sports, is all of a sudden you're peers and you're there with your kids, wanting your kids to learn soccer, just like your neighbors there with their kids, wanting their kids to learn soccer, and you all are concerned about making sure that our kids are safe, are in an environment that's life-giving, and they're cared for well.
I was looking for a program that the children in the community could interact with. And I ran into one of the workers for the Macc Avenue Community Church and Macc Sports. And they asked if we were interested in allowing our children to participate in the program. Well, actually, it was a godsend because the boys at the school had already asked about basketball, soccer, sports in general. And our school did not have the opportunity to participate in those programs. So it actually was perfect marriage.
We saw kids playing and loving and enjoying a sport that they never played before. And they got to enjoy it in their own neighborhood. We saw them engaging in gospel lessons. We saw a father who could entrust his son to a coach who not only valued and encouraged, but also disciplined the child in a way that honored Christ. We saw families, oftentimes single mothers, who are usually and typically the recipient of charity. We saw them that decide that they weren't just going to be receivers, but that they were going to choose to be assistant managers, coaches, and referees in the program. They were adding significant value to the community. We saw principals in schools decide that they wanted Macc Sports in their schools. They invited us to assemblies. They gave offerings. They wanted us to have more flyers for them to send home to their families because they wanted more and more families to join the program. We had over 60 families join Macc Sports in the second season. We were beginning to see glimpses of restoration in our community. It is deeply humbling to see God's work in restoring our community, and to see that He's using Macc Sports to care for the families. You see, at the end of the day, Macc Sports simply desires to point people to the reality that true restoration begins and ends with discipleship in Christ.